Mustafa.
सर कहाँ जाएंगे, काम इतना चल रहा है ऑफिस में, छुट्टी मिलेगी नहीं।
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Shall we start?
One second, ma'am. Let me ask Cynthia, ma'am. Cynthia, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, of course, we're ready.
Thank you, ma'am. Vidya, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, you can start, ma'am.
A pleasant and warm good evening to everyone. This is ICLLC 2K21 and we are entering into the academic session entitled Multicultural Education. I request Miss Poornima, Nodal Officer and Convener, Assistant Professor of English and HOD UG, Department of English, Trinity College for Women, Arts and Science, to present the welcome note. Hearty welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the opportunity given. Greetings to everyone. Income your best, outcome your most, overcome your past, and become your best. It's my pleasure and duty to bid you all a genial welcome. Respected Chairman Sir and Secretary Sir, Principal Sir, Academic Director, Administrative Officer, and all the dignitaries of Trinity College, Namakkal, Tamil Nadu, and distinguished guests of the last session of our conference, Mrs. Cynthia Ma'am, an admiring ESP professor from California. We welcome you, ma'am, and all the great intellectuals who are all staying here. Here is a hearty welcome, big and warm enough to encompass you all. A special welcome to Maria Del Ma'am and friends of Cynthia Ma'am. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all. Your presence makes us very glad. Thank you, everyone.
I now request Mrs. Bhanupriya, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Trinity College for Women, to introduce the chief guest to this session.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to everyone. I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our guest speaker today, Mrs. India Sikuvaji Gibbets, ESP Professor. ESP stands for English for Specific Purposes, University of California, USA. She did Diploma on Humanistic Science and Literature at Santa Teresa Bilingual School, Santa, Argentina. She worked as an English teacher, Faculty of Social Studies and Linguistics, Argentina in 2003, and she plays her role as a national public translator, Universidad del Salvador, Argentina in 2005. Besides, she worked as a ESP professor in English, Department of Linguistic and International Scholars, University of Cambridge, England in 2008. At present, she obtained her PG in Interlinguistic Communication under Universidad del Salvador, Argentina in 2019. She is a multi-personality. Currently, she is working as a ESP professor and bilingual coach in POSCO Engineering and Construction, Korea, Argentina since 2019, and Cambridge Examiner in Argentina since 2009, Faculty of Humanities and Social Studies in Department of Latin American Studies, California University, United States, and also international researcher since 2009. The presence of such a multi-personality in the session is a blessing. I am sure we will be enriched by the session. I request ma'am to enlighten the participants with her precious words on the topic multicultural education. Welcome you, ma'am. Thank you very much for the opportunity given. Thank you all.
Thank you for the presentation. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be with you today. Well, we're going to start with a theoretical framework. As you can see in the slides, we're going to talk a little bit about multicultural education. We may have different religions, different languages, different color skin, but we all belong to one human race. That has been a statement made by Kofi Annan, former chief of the United Nations. It's a very powerful phrase to begin, since we are all connected, interconnected at this moment, and with this pandemic, it has brought to our attention something very important. No matter where we are, where we come from, we belong to one race, right? Let's move on, Ruth. Okay, multicultural education is a progressive approach for transforming education based on educational equality and social justice. What kids learn in their classroom environments when it comes to interactions with those who are different from them translate into how well they will manage life in the global marketplace. As teachers, we know that what happens in our classrooms is really important. What we transmit, not only knowledge, but also values, is what later we will see in our societies. Our classrooms are a reflection of our later societies. What's the meaning of multicultural education? It's an educational movement built on basic American values, such as freedom, opportunity, justice, and equality. It is a set of strategies aimed to address the diverse challenges rapidly experienced by changing US demographics. But I want to make a point here. Don't get confused. It started in the United States, but it spread all over the world. And later we will make an analysis of India's situation in particular. So don't get this misconception. I mean, it's a movement that started in the States, but has spread rapidly throughout the world. Okay, there are very popular definitions and documents in which this movement has been founded. The US Declaration of Independence, Constitutions of South Africa, and the United States and Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted by United Nations. Multicultural education is not only justice, equality, and human dignity as acknowledged in various documents. What it means is that, constitutions all over the world and basically supranations organizations such as the United Nations has adopted this concept since the very early beginning. Well, why is so important that we can make a reflection of multicultural approach in our curriculums? It's a process that ensures the highest levels of academic achievement for all students. That means that we're giving our students the same opportunities, all right, to achieve the same level of academic achievements. It helps students develop a positive self-concept by providing knowledge about the histories, cultures, and contributions of diverse groups. Thus, school curriculums must directly address issues of racism, sexism, classism, ageism, religious intolerance, and xenophobia. Why our role as educators in the classrooms is so important. Educators who use the social reconstructionist approach. I don't know if you're aware of what the social reconstructionist approach is. It came with this movement in parallel, is a trend within education that sees schools as tools, active tools to provoke changes in societies. And it's not only a philosophical concept, right? Schools, universities are active tools and factors and agents of change. Well, to go to a step or further to teach students about oppression and discrimination. Students learn about their roles as social change agents so that they may participate in the generation of a more equitable society. As teachers, as knowledge constructors. What is knowledge construction? Is a recognition that all knowledge is socially constructed, created in the minds of human beings to explain their experiences, and thus can be challenged. And we have to be aware that ideas that shape society do change. We're not a stagnant society. We're constantly changing, developing, and so are our students. Equity pedagogy. These are recommendations, right? Later, we're going to analyze your situation in India, but these are, the United Nations recommendations. Equity pedagogy is involved when teachers alter their teaching methods to accommodate the various cultural differences of diverse students to stimulate academic achievement. What we have to do here as teachers, we have to recognize our students, look at them, talk to them, get involved, get to know, who you're teaching to, who we're working with. Well, knowledge construction, a very important concept. By using knowledge construction, we can achieve prejudice reduction. It means changing the students' attitudes towards differences of race and ethnicity. Also include teaching tolerance about religion, physical and mental abilities, and sexual preferences. These days and for decades, we've had multicultural classrooms. Which are the goals of multicultural education? To create a safe and accepting, successful learning environment for all, increasing awareness of global issues, teaching students that there are multiple historical perspectives, encouraging critical thinking, and preventing prejudice and discrimination. Assignments in our classroom and multiculturalism. We have another tool in our classrooms, our assignments. If we use our assignments cleverly, we can provide a primary window into student cultural beliefs. Writing assignments, for example, can play a significant role in gathering information about students' thought patterns and tendencies. Using literature, writing tasks, we can get to know their cultural backgrounds, their family history, their traditions, by giving them writing assignments. Also, interviewing family members make the family an active participant in our classrooms. A student's parents can also be solicited as sources of information. And as teachers, if we feel comfortable and if we sometimes don't have the necessary tools to create academic statistics, well, we have to start moving, approach the neighborhoods, look with our own eyes and get the information, get involved people, get closer to your students, to where they live, to the different places they come from. Well, what are the advantages of having a multicultural education approach in our curriculums? According to the National Association for Multicultural Education, NAMI, it helps students to develop positive self-image. It offers students an equitable educational opportunity. It allows multiple perspectives and ways of thinking. It combats stereotypes and prejudicial behavior, and it teaches students to critique society in the interest of social justice. How important is to create thinking human beings, not only scholars, academics, or professionals, but critique thinking human beings. Well, there you have a bibliographical reference. We're going to move on to the particular analysis of multicultural education in India. Is everything okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we audible? Am I going too fast? How are you feeling?
Yes, okay, ma'am, no problem.
Sorry, Poornima, I cannot hear you properly.
Ma'am, no problem, ma'am. You carry on. It's not for too fast. We can understand.
Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
all right. We shall continue then with multicultural education. That it comes with hand with peace education, another concept that has developed in the Southeast Asia, let's say for almost 5 decades ago. I decided to start quoting your fascinating Mahatma Gandhi in one of his publications regarding education. He stated that if we want to reach real peace in this world, we should start educating children. Well, you have a brief of my academical background there, which is not necessary by now. Well, again, this is one of the latest statements that NAMI has made from the United States. Multicultural education has developed over the last several decades, and it's becoming increasingly recognized as a significant educational issue. And it's an approach to teaching and learning that is based on democratic values and beliefs and affirms cultural pluralism within culturally diverse societies. It might sound too theoretical, but basically, people, what we're talking about is to adopt this approach to teach comfortably and openly using values, talking about democracies, politics, history, cultural diversity, without the fear of causing any harm. Quite the opposite. bringing awareness to our students. Why have I chosen to develop this topic? Well, it has been quite a journey with the organizers, especially with Ms. Poornima, Mr. Sanhayan, and everybody involved in this set of conferences. But first of all, well, there is a misconception that I wanted to make clear. I wanted to clear this out, that due to the fact that the concept of multicultural education and studies originated in the United States and is mostly applied in American and European societies, India, Asia, and other parts of the world hasn't been working hard on implementing it as well. Well, that is a misconception. It's a wrong concept. We're going to have the possibility now to even recognize that continents like yours, Asia, and countries like yours are even more developed than the United States and Europe on this matter. India is a land of myriad languages, cultures, ethnic groups. Apart from that, the country has followers from different religious faiths of the world. Is the amalgamation of diverse subcultures spread all over the country and traditions that are millennials old. India has been extremely sensitive to the importance of recognizing, protecting, and promoting cultural differences. Now, if you weren't aware of this, it's about time to start studying your own constitution regarding some educational policies that has been implemented for several years. Regarding primary education, what does your constitution recognize and states? The Right to Children Free and Compulsory Education Act, passed in 2009. It provides free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 6 to 14 belonging to the Schedule Caste and Schedule Tribe, the socially and educationally backward class, or such other group having disadvantages owing to social, cultural, economical, geographical, gender, or other such factors. Well, you're constitutionally protected. And I thought that it was very interesting and important that you knew this. As students, as scholars, academics, the government of India also introduced a centrally sponsored scheme in 1995 to provide nutritional support to primary education. The idea behind implementing a midday meal program apart from child nutrition and educational advancements is social equity. Later on, when we finalize this, I would like to get your feedback because this is the theory that researchers have. We have this information, but I need your feedback on reality. Is this really true? How is this handled these days, and especially what happened after coronavirus pandemic started? Well, the National Knowledge Commission, passed in 2007, suggests that for the primary and elementary stage of school education, the mother tongue shall be the medium of instruction. This will ensure that the thinking process of child doesn't get obstructed. It also suggested catered programs for children with disabilities or special needs. What does your constitution say about secondary school education? Well, the National Curriculum Framework, passed in 2005, has emphasized on the importance of cultural diversity as the greatest gift of the country. Cultures of the so-called periphery must receive equal attention as those in the center. The Indian Education Commission's reports that has been developed between 1964 and 1966 also put forward a new common school system for integration of cultural values. This one should bridge the cultural barriers by bringing all students together, irrespective of caste, creed, location, or gender, to have access to education of comparable equality. Well, that was the first act that your constitution recognized and adopted. I mean, the one started in 1964. Then the National Policy on Education in 1986, students' understanding of the diverse cultural and social system of people from different parts of the country, promotion of linked language, launching programs to increase the translation of books from one language to another, and publish multilingual dictionaries. That is something amazing, guys, that you have that constitutionally recognized in your country. I mean, the obligatory of translating books and dictionaries into various languages. Well, the Secondary Education Commission in 1952 emphasized the following, which I really consider one of the most clean and beautiful principles of all. While gathering all the material and the information for this conference, I came across this principle and I wanted to share it with you because, as I said, it's one of the most beautiful ones I found. If a democracy like ours is to survive, a democracy which harbors so many faiths, races, and communities, education must cultivate in our youth principles of mind and largeness of heart, which would make them capable of entertaining and blending harmonious pattern of differences of ideas and behavior. Students learn and live harmoniously in the school community and later in the larger community, the world. Well, the National Knowledge Commission in 2007 has recognized the significance of language as a medium of instruction, communication, and access. And here comes the appearance of English. The teaching of English along with the child's first language should be introduced from class 1. We can see that since 2007, the language teaching process is now a constitutional right that India has recognized for all of you. This requires more availability of English language teachers and more bilingual and supplementary teaching materials. Well, what happens in higher education, in this case, universities, colleges? The Education Commission in 1948 highlighted that in higher education in general and technical education in particular, interregional mobility must be facilitated to provide equal access to every Indian of requisite merit, regardless of origin. Students must participate in social and cultural activities of the areas in which your colleges are situated, so that you can become alive to the needs of the society in which you guys live in. So you scholars are really important agents and active participants, not only in your societies, but also in your colleges and universities. The curricula taught at universities must be updated regularly in consultation with the industry business and the service sector, as well as the local community. There has been a mistake there in my presentation. I apologize. Later, if you can read it correctly, must be updated regularly. To address minorities, first-generation degree seekers, backward areas, and low income. So, professors, educators, policymakers, we have to keep working on our programs, our academical proposals. I mean, we cannot be working with obsolete material and, of course, not having an open and broad perspective and overlook of our classrooms. Well, and we finally came to our conclusion. No educational system is wholly detached from a specific cultural universe. Many constitutions and educational policies in different parts of the world provide well-balanced models of multicultural which disallowed separatist tendencies but allowed proliferation of diversity. Nevertheless, multicultural education is just the starting point. These days, diversity of cultural, linguistic, ethnic, religious, socioeconomic groups is a reality present in almost the majority of our societies. United States, Europe, Latin America, Asia. We're all uniquely different and beautifully equal. Of course, many actions could and should be taken in order to evolve towards a better global society and humanity. Policy level to the public sphere, inside and outside schools, communities, families, individuals, all working collaboratively. I wouldn't like to sound too topical, but optimistic. Why I'm stating this? Because whenever you get in the world of multiculturalism, you might sound like Gandhi in your case, or like Martin Luther King. But no, guys, we're not idealists, we're not utopical. We're teachers trying to create a better society, to make a contribution to our students and make small changes from our role in this world. Nations are enriched by the diversity. However, interaction between diverse groups brings about tension, stereotypes, and discriminations. That's an undeniable fact. But it is our challenge as educators, educational policymakers, and practitioners to realize this elusive but essential goal of a democratic and pluralistic society. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure. And well, here we are open to any questions. What I would like to hear is you, Ms. Poornima, the organizers, other professors, giving background information and feedback on the legal framework that I just presented. Let me know if this is actually happening or is just sheer theory in your constitution.
Yeah, of course, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your lively as well as lovely session. Really amazing presentation, ma'am. Thank you so much. Dear participants, if any queries, you can ask, ma'am.
Yeah, well, as I said, I would like somebody, don't be shy, please, to share information with us regarding these constitutional principles. I mean, if you don't know, I mean, the technical principles, it's okay. I want your feedback as scholars. Are these rights addressed in your college, in your university? Do you feel protected by your legal system regarding educational matters? Ms. Poornima, if any participant would like to
Yes,
answer.
all are
they
sending their comments, ma'am, through chat box. All are sending, all are praising your presentation. I think no more queries, ma'am.
You will have this material available, and of course, if you feel a little bit shy on about sharing or participating now, we're open to be in later contact. We can exchange ideas and research approaches via email, WhatsApp groups. We're open to that.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Well, good evening, India. It's been a pleasure working with you again. Hope that your academic year closes with this great idea and notion that no matter where we come from, we're just the same. Teachers, students, all trying to work towards a more peaceful world full of understanding and the principle of enriching and sharing with each other our different cultural backgrounds. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Sri Vidya, ma'am.
Yes,
Excuse me, ma'am.
vote of thanks.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, 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 ma'am.
I need to ask a question from Cynthia, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, of course. Cynthia, ma'am?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, yes. You can ask, ma'am.
Ma'am, one query from me. As I'm handling UG and PG of English, ma'am. I need to conduct many ESL games, but I don't know how to conduct, ma'am, because I'm not having any clear idea of conducting games. But I want to conduct more games. I refer to many books, but I don't get clear idea of conducting such games, ma'am. May I guide you, ma'am? May you guide you?
Your question is regarding pedagogy. Pedagogy strategies and how to implement games in the classroom. Is that your question?
Yes, ma'am, that is my question.
Well, first of all, what kind of audiences, what kind of age groups are you working with?
Ma'am, from 18 to 21, ma'am.
All right. Well, you know that we never stop playing. I mean, even if we become adults, I mean, it's important to implement, I mean, some kind of interactive activities. It doesn't necessarily have to be a game with the concept of a game. You can do role play, especially for that age group, 18 to 21. It's something very effective. Role play, it's what I suggest. If you feel shy of implementing a particular game, you know?
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I couldn't get you because of voice breaking.
I'm sorry. Well, I was suggesting that for that age group, you should implement role playing. Make your students interact.
Yes, ma'am, I understood, but interacting in English path is a challenging in India, ma'am.
Well, that is well, as you said, that's your challenge as a future educator, as a future teacher. If it's a challenge, well, push it forward. I mean, first start role playing in your native tongue, and then take it forward to English, but gradually, step by step. Assess the level of English knowledge acquisition in your scholars, and then implement it gradually.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll surely follow your words. And also, if I'm in need of any help, means definitely I'll mail you, ma'am.
I'm available.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thanks to you, my dear. Well, my contact
Any other
information.
queries? Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
No. I was saying that my contact information is available. As I said before, if you have any doubts regarding this matter or some other, we can stay in contact. We will stay in contact. That's the point.
Okay, any other queries, Mr. Sir? No more queries. Okay, Srividya ma'am.
Yes. To be thankful is a quality of cultured minds, and I take pride in registering my gratitude towards those who made this event possible. Let me first thank Mrs. Cynthia, ESP Professor, University of California, UCLA, Los Angeles, USA, for her powerful packed presentation. And I would like to cite her presentation was quite extraordinary. And I thank the management of Trinity College for Women and our Honorable Principal, Dr. Emma Lakshmi Narayanan, Miss Poornima, Nodal Officer, Convener, Assistant Professor, and HOD UG, PG and Research Department of English. I thank each and every one of my dear colleagues who have been part and parcel of this event. I thank every participant over here. Thank you all once again. It's time now. We shall pass on to the valedictory session of ICLLC 2K21 now. Shall we proceed
Ma'am,
on?
ma'am, once again, ma'am, please wait for 10 minutes. Our principal sir is on the way to home.
Sure.
Okay. Dear participants, kindly be patient. We shall start the valedictory by 6:25. Srividya ma'am, sir will join within 5 minutes. So we shall start. Okay, ma'am? Please wait. Srividya madam. Srividya ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes ma'am, you are audible. We can start now ma'am. Sir has joined.
Okay.
Thank you ma'am.
Language leads to literature, and literature is already intertwined to culture. A blissful evening to all. I am honored to be a part of this meticulously organized ICLLC 2K21 International Conference for Language, Literature and Culture, organized by the PG and Research Department of English, Trinity College for Women, Arts and Science. I now request our Honorable Principal, Dr. M.R. Lakshmi Narayanan, sir, to render his welcome note. Hearty welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. Happy evening, one and all present here. The PG Research Department of English, Trinity College for Women, Arts and Science, Namakkal, Tamil Nadu State, India, organized a 3-day international conference entitled Language, Literature and Culture. In this regard, in this validatory function, I warmly invite our special guest, Professor Maria del Carmen Cadema, the Language Experience National Director, Argentina, and our special invitee, Dr. B.J. Geeta, Associate Professor in English, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Tiruvarur, Tamil Nadu State in India. Today's special speakers, Professor Dr. Arnold Gro, Associate Professor, Department of Humanities, Technical University of Berlin, Germany, Mrs. Cynthia Kaiker, Gibbets, ESP Professor, University of California, UCLA, Los Angeles, USA, the Chairman of Trinity College for Women, Namakkal, Mr. P.K. Senkodan, Secretary, Engineer K. Naluswamy, Convener of the program, Ms. S. Poornima, faculty members of English, Mrs. P. Uma Bharati, Mrs. S. Srividya, various participants in various institutions, various higher education institutions, and faculty members of various colleges. First of all, I cordially invite in this validatory function. You know very well, English, one of the main subjects in this language, literature and culture. For the past 3 days, our faculty members as well as resource persons given a very wonderful talk regarding this topic. First of all, I convey my best wishes to all the participants as well as all the organizers. Once again, I think so definitely this type of program will be helpful for all the faculty members, surely. Once again, I warmly invite one and all present here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's time now to introduce the chief guest. Scholars are welcome everywhere because they are sculpture for futures.
Srividya madam.
Yes.
One second. Srividya madam.
Yes.
Felicitation. Felicitation.
I'm here.
Yes. Now, one second, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. P.J. Geeta, ma'am, Assistant Professor of English, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Tiruvarur, will felicitate the gathering. We welcome you, ma'am.
Hello, one and all present there. Very good evening to one and all. At the outset, I'm greatly happy about meeting you again after a couple of years to address this felicitation. I record my sincere thanks to the management of Trinity College for Women. As well, I record my gratitude to Professor Lakshmi Narayanan, the principal, and the faculty members of the Department of English for organizing this wonderful conference on a very important topic on language, literature, and culture, which is very, very contemporary topic. And I appreciate your efforts because I have been watching you for more than a decade, and you have been giving your best to improve your department and your institution altogether. Regarding the topic of the conference, language, literature, and culture. So that is, a mutual relationship among all these factors: language, literature, and culture. I would say that if I ask you one question, which is the most dangerous invention of human being, and as well as the most important invention of human being, is that it is language, of course. It is my personal, as well as many theoreticians, postmodernist conception. So having said that, language, both verbal and non-verbal, is an important tool for human beings to communicate, to make any sort of communications. So if any changes that happens in language, that affects literature as well as culture. Because language seems to be the medium. It is a performing art for both literature as well as culture. So it is a mirror which either enriches or improvises any given culture. So the culture, the progress of the culture, the sustenance of the culture depends upon language. Now coming to what is this culture? Culture is something that is an everyday affair. We speak about culture, the existence of culture. Different types of culture is existent. So we, as part of this culture, is something that could be acquired. It is not something that is come to us as an inborn talent, as it happens with animal or other species, as a genetic factor. It is something that is being acquired by human beings. Etymologically, culture means growth, growing. And as far as anthropology is concerned, culture refers to knowledge. So put together, cultural studies refer to acquiring the knowledge about human society. And this culture is something that is happening with every society. So the genesis of every culture is something, we have multi-variety of culture, and it is different from each culture. When I say this is different from each culture, I would like to just anecdote one cultural variation as far as the concept called time. In English language, time is being perceived in past tense, present tense, and future. If you take a culture like Hopi culture, North American culture, where time is perceived entirely differently. It is perceived as something like manifested. What is manifested, that is what is done already, the action that is done already, and what is yet to be manifested. So this is how they perceive, they understand about time. So it varies from language to language, from culture to culture. And yet again, in Hebrew culture again, they understand, they perceive time as action completed and action incomplete. So these are the different varieties of culture we have. And as far as cultural consent, it gives it creates the notion about identity, human identity, and it gives a sense of belongings and sense of pride to the person who belongs to that particular culture. And it is something that when I say culture, it refers to all human knowledge, morality, and family art, habit, customs, and rituals. So these cultural activities or behaviors is being something that is patternized. It is patterned. So these pattern or rituals or habits, customs being institutionalized. So through institutions, we actually exercise these rituals, these customs, the traditions and everything, the habits. We attribute, we represent our cultural behavior through certain institution that has been established for establishing culture. So having said that it is being institutionalized, the purpose of such establishment of institutionalization is to see that how culture is a process of continuity. It is in continuum. It is in the process of continuity since the ancient period. And in the process of this continuity, it either adds certain features or subtracts or it multiplies. And that is what the certainty of culture in progress, culture in assimilation, culture in different forms. For instance, if you take post-colonial cultural aspect, we see that assimilation might have happened, or the development of high culture and low culture, dominance of high culture over low culture. So these are the different perspectives of cultural dominance. Yes, then, so again, culture is something that is super organic. Super organic in the sense, men may come and men may go, but culture as well as language and literature, the representation of human, social life, which is being mirrored through literature, which is being performed as cultural codes in literature, that is something that is, you cannot remove it. So that is why it is something super organic. So what is the essence to interpret or to have a cultural critical analysis? We have this power structure is something that is operating to determine some culture as dominant culture and some culture as low culture, or some other culture as popular culture. So this power structure is something which is being determined again by factors like the language factor. And again, this language is being, the dominance of the language is being determined by historical reason, economic factors, and so other factors. We might have seen how English language has become the dominant language as far as Indians are concerned. So through colonization, it has been accepted as the official language. It is still, an important language as far as Indians are concerned. So through language, culture becomes more popular, or high culture or low culture, and there arises the problem of, oppression, subjugation, and everything. So it is through critical, discussion or conferences like this, or researchers on cultural studies and disciplines like cultural studies, they make, they engage with this kind of discussions to question, to question, the cultural dominance. So that paves way for multicultural society and giving space to egalitarianism. So that is why critical interpretation about the cultural studies is very important, to bring down this egalitarian platform where plurality is being engaged, plurality is being addressed. Because we are living, right now we are living in the 21st century globalized global village, in fact. So we have been witnessing unprecedented growth in every area, whether it is trade, whether it is science, whether it is education. We have seen unprecedented growth, and whatever happens in at one corner of a continent, that affects the every every countries. For instance, pandemic is one such example where the genesis of this pandemic somewhere, and it affects the world is still not able to get away from the tangles of pandemic. So we are living in this global village. So we have to be very careful to see that imminent problems like the problems like the dominant culture and the suppression and other problems that happens, issues that happens between superpower countries and third world countries, underdeveloped countries. So I think this is the right time to address a topic like this, so that many young students and research scholars will be sensitized about the problem that is prevailing around us. So I congratulate the Department of English once again, and Principal Sir and the whole management for inviting me to felicitate this 3-day international conference. Also, I congratulate the speaker of the valedictory function. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your felicitation. I request the convener, Ms. Poornima, to present the conference report ICLLC 2K21. Hearty welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. My humble greetings to everyone again, honorable dignitaries and delegates. This is Poornima, Assistant Professor of English, Trinity College for Women, Namakkal, Tamil Nadu. I am so pleased to deliver the conference report here. Language is for communication, literature for composition, and culture for civilization. By keeping this in mind, we have planned to organize an international conference on language, literature, and culture. This conference was inaugurated last 23rd July morning 10 a.m. IST by Honorable Chief Guest Professor Dr. Bill Ashcroft, Emeritus Professor, School of the Arts and Media, University of New South Wales, Sydney, Australia. Our beloved Principal Dr. M.R. Lakshmi Narayanan Sir welcomed the gathering, and Dr. T. Alagarasan, Associate Professor of English, Government Arts College, Salem, has felicitated the gathering. Professor Bill Ashcroft Sir inaugurated the conference and explained the connections between language, literature, and culture. Then the special address has been given by Professor Rebecca Haq, former chairperson, Department of English, University of Dhaka, Bangladesh. At the end of the inaugural, a vote of thanks has been given by Mrs. R. Priyadarshini, Assistant Professor of English, Trinity College for Women, Namakkal. The resource person of the first session, engaged by Dr. Haider Jabarkopan, Associate Professor, Department of English, Al Manan University, Baghdad, Iraq, under the title Recent Trends in Literary Theories. The second session by Dr. Swarnabel Easwaran, Associate Professor, Department of English and the School of Journalism, Michigan State University, USA, on cinema and Shakespeare. The second day, first session was delivered by Mrs. Dina Desari Imanuddin, Senior Lecturer, Indonesia, on role of EFL teachers in current scenario. The second session by Mrs. Selen Gadia, ESL teacher in Uruguay, South America, on the topic gamification, ESL games. And the third session by Professor Esteban Trejo Sir, English teacher, Argentina, FCE trainer and translator, theatre actor, on the topic narrative and drama as a way to improve English learning as a second language. And the third day, that's today, the virtual presentation has been conducted today morning. Nearly 30 participants have presented their papers well. And the first session of third day as given by Professor Dr. Arnold Groh, Associate Professor, Department of Humanities, Technical University of Berlin, Germany, on the rescue of indigenous cultures. And the last session by Mrs. Cynthia Steger-Kibitz, ESP Professor, University of California, UCLA, Los Angeles, USA, on the topic multicultural education. And all the sessions were useful, wonderful, effective, enlightening, enchanting, and insightful. Nearly 200 participants have participated and well benefited. Now we are at the age, our valedictory session. Our principal sir has just welcomed the gathering, and Dr. B.J. Geeta ma'am from Central University of Tamil Nadu felicitated the gathering. And our honorable chief guest, Professor Maria del Carmen Cadena ma'am, the language experience national director, Argentina, is waiting to deliver her valedictory address. I sincerely thank all the dignitaries and delegates for giving me this opportunity to deliver this conference report in this delightful academic gathering. Thank you, one and all. It's my immense pleasure to invite Mrs. Srividya ma'am to introduce our honorable chief guest of this valedictory session. Thank you, ma'am. Over to Srividya ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm immensely happy for this opportunity. Today's chief guest, today's chief guest to present the valedictory address is from a nation of spectacular natural wonders. The glaciers and mountains of Patagonia, or the splendors and the waterfalls in Iguazu, are the biggest and the most beautiful in the world. The name of this land is derived from the Latin word silver, the eighth largest country in the nation. So I mean in the world. And this nation has Jesuit ruins to modern art and a paradise for travelers, those who love to travel a lot. This land is the birthplace of tango dance. This land is the land of Lionel Messi, the iconic football man. You must have got it by now. It's the unique Argentina, and our chief guest hails from there. Our chief guest is gifted by the Almighty today, Professor Maria del Carmen Cadena, the Language Experience National Director, Argentina. She is the founder and director of Elite Center for English Studies since 1990. She's a teacher trainer and Trinity exam trainer for about 15 years, besides her own language school for 30 years. This is indeed a gift. To be in language teaching leads you towards the kindly light. Language and literature are always enlightening. We are simultaneously taken to lofty ideals. We look for your exuberant oration, ma'am. Hearty welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody there. It is a great honor to have this role today in this extremely important and motivating international event organized and held by Trinity College for Women, India. In my extensive background in education and English teaching, I have supervised and managed the development and coordination of international education and cross-cultural exchange programs. For many years, I have been devoted to the management of English language schools. As a consequence, events like this one, this international set of conferences organized by Trinity College for Women, with so many motivating, thought-provoking, and knowledgeable lecturers and trainers, and so many eager to learn scholars, we must admit that we have the tools, the best tools to dissolve cultural barriers through English teaching. Through English, we can appreciate cultural diversity, and we can enable present and future generations to solve real-world problems through international understanding, cooperation, respect, and peace. Through the study of English language in general, with grammar, essays, short stories, novels, theater plays, poetry, biographies, science fiction, thrillers, travel writing, we can make an interesting difference in the world. And you scholars who are graduating soon, make sure that you will have a very influential role in the future. And because of that, I would like to read a quotation expressed by Michelangelo many years ago, in fact, in the 16th century. This is a quotation that I really like and that I always use in my classes, and it says, "The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but this is too low and we reach it." Well, this is, I think, very motivational, and I would like to repeat it because I really enjoy reading this quotation every time I have the chance to do it. The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. For that, please, scholars, feel proud of studying English. Feel proud of making a positive contribution to the world. Feel proud of yourself and show your full potential to the world. I'm sure, I know that this has been an unforgettable experience for both lecturers and scholars. I would like to congratulate scholars on their graduation, and I would also like to congratulate these seminar organizers for their great effort and wonderful job. Congratulations to all of you. Hopefully, we will one day have the opportunity to meet in any corner of the world. Till then, the best for you all. My best wishes, and especially to Poornima for having done this great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable words. Thank you for your kind presence also. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for letting me share this wonderful experience with you all. It has been a great pleasure. Unforgettable experience for me too.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Sri Vidya, ma'am?
Shall I call for vote of thanks?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
It's time now to register gratitude. I now request Mrs. Uma Bharati, Assistant Professor, Trinity College for Women, Arts and Science, to render her vote of thanks. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may consist merely of words. Gratitude is shown in acts. It's a matter of pride for me that I am proposing a vote of thanks for this occasion. I, on behalf of my colleagues and the entire community, first of all, spread my most sincere thanks to the Lord God. It's my pleasure to thank our chief guest, Professor Maria del Carmen Cadena, the Language Experience National Director, Argentina, who honored this function with her inspirational thoughts. Thank you, ma'am. And I also express my heartfelt thanks to Dr. B.J. Geeta, Associate Professor of English, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Tiruvarur, for her valuable contribution. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to thank our chairman, sir, and secretary, sir, for providing immense support to make this session successful. Next, I thank our respected principal, Dr. M.R. Lakshmi Narayanan, for his unstinted support for this function. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the convener, Ms. S. Poornima, Trinity College for Women, for delivering her conference report. Next, I would like to thank Ms. S. Srividya, Assistant Professor of English, for granting chief guest introduction. Finally, I thank my colleagues and all the participants for making this international conference on language, literature, and culture as a grand success. Once again, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Uma, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Shall we wind up? Sri Vidya, madam?
Yes. We shall wind up.
Yes, we shall wind up now. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Let me share the feedback link to group also, WhatsApp group also. Thank you, one and all.